Добрый вечер, дорогие друзья. Ужасно приятно мне сегодня вам представить Сашу Ковалеву, которую я знаю уже... Сколько, Саша, сколько лет? Ну, чтобы тебя не состарить. 10? 10 лет, да. Саша поступила в нашу студию, которую мы вели в Московском архитектурном институте МАРХИ, и мы вместе с ней там работали 2 года, по-моему. А после этого Саша, поддавшись на нашу провокацию, перешла в МАРШ и была в числе первых студентов МАРШа. И это вообще особые люди, которые ну как-то вот так ринулись, бросились в эту холодную и непонятную мутную воду, которая тогда еще ничего, про которую ничего не было известно, и доплыли благополучно до диплома, и Саша замечательно завершила нашу школу. И сегодня мы, вот только что мы с Никитой это обсуждали, с Никитой Токаревым, что сегодня для нашей школы в этом смысле день какой-то особенно знаменательный, в том смысле, что мы как-то с самого начала думали, что наступит ли такой счастливый день, когда мы сможем студентов, наших выпускников не просто увидеть среди гостей, среди там, на каком-то праздновании, а увидеть их в качестве лекторов, представляющих собственную карьеру. И вот такую серию, которую сегодня начинает как раз Саша, мы начинаем с нее. И, в общем, это не случайно, потому что Сашина карьера какая-то совсем диковинная. Ну, как-то вот никогда в жизни мне не приходило в голову, что Саша, которая приезжала в МАРХИ из Мытищ и, значит, училась у нас на Рождественке, а потом здесь на артплее, теперь приезжает к нам из Токио со своим партнером Кеем и рассказывает нам сегодня о том, каково это пройти школу профессиональной работы в Токио и основать собственное бюро в Японии. Саша, мы гордимся тобой. Потом я скажу это отдельно. Может быть, не гордимся, может, все это... Да. может, нечем хвастаться, но я уверен, что это не так. В общем, я с радостью представляю слово Саше Ковалевой и рад, что нашу серию «Сториз» открывает Саша со своим партнером Кеем. Ура!
Здравствуйте. Так, меня, как уже Евгений Викторович представил, меня зовут Саша, это мой партнер Кей. И сегодня мы расскажем вам о том, как мы живем в Токио. И главное, у нас лекция будет разделена на 2 части. Первая, потому что мы оба работали в бюро Джуньи Ишигами. И вот только в этом году мы начали работать сами на себя. И наша лекция будет построена, то есть первую часть мы рассказываем как раз о Джуньи Ишигами, и что, над чем мы там работали, что мы, чему научились, и потом дальше о том, чем мы занимаемся сейчас. Так, значит, Кей работал в Джуньи Ишигами на тот момент, как... я, наверное, на английский перехожу. Sorry, I didn't notice I speak Russian. Kei was working in Junyi Ishigami in the moment when I came, around already 2 years, and he was managing many projects, and his main part was mainly like more developing projects or like construction site and details and everything. So he was pretty more or less senior architect. And then I arrived when he also joined the competition of the Polytechnic Museum in the beginning. Then I arrived. And then, yeah, you can.
And Sasha, she was in the interns when I was working there. And 3 months intern, and she came back to Moscow, and she come back to the Tokyo again as a staff of the Junyi Ишигami office. And in the office, she was called as a mother of the Junyi Ишigami office. So because she's very kind and peaceful, and everything is like this, and Junya respect his sense of the design and some skill of the management. So it's really a good chance for her.
So Джуньи Ишигами states sorry, I will take here. So here you see the photo of the office. So basically, the Джуньи Ишигами states is a very international office. It's just 30% Japanese and 70% international. And it's also because office works on many international projects. And it's very good that in the office it's many cultures together, which good for the designing and then also opportunity to get new projects from different countries. And so 2013, I came for the internship first. I came because of the Polytechnic Museum project, because Junya won the competition in 2012. And at that moment, I was mainly interested into the urban design. So this proposal was more probably urban proposal than architectural, and it was connecting this the garden and extending it under the museum. So it was very unique. I thought this was very unique design proposal for the city of Moscow. So I was interested in how does this person design such a, how his vision, or how does they design such a thing. So I applied for the internship, and then I had an internship first in Moscow for 1 month when we was working inside the museum, and then after 2 months in Tokyo. And then this is the office when I came to the office. Okay, so you see it's me. And this is a Kei, and this is Ishigami. And so in the office, main work goes through the models. Basically, every project designed through the models. So that's why you see there are many more big scale models for different projects. And at that moment, we was just 3 interns. So our main work was help staff to design and make those models to explain the project. So you see, like, this is a Polytechnic Museum model, which I was working on during internship. And so this is design staff, and then we was trying to design inside the model, and same time completing it and then discuss with Ishigami. So many model making was during the internship. And then the models are very precise and very detailed, so we can also use it for the client to explain the solution. Also, the model, I think why it's important for Ishigami to design through the models, because we see it more real compared to the 3D modeling, because also we see it as the eye is not focused on the back, so we see it very, like we see the building. And also it's very easy to understand your design and if it's good or not. Then the second project I was working on, also the model for the exhibition. It's another project which Kei will explain later. And we was doing the model, not small scale, and it's made out of paper with some plants on the top. So we also deliver it to the exhibition space. So then my internship finished. I come back to March, finish the master, and September 2014, I arrived to the office already on the staff position. So my 5 years period in the office, I split to 3 stages, so it's more clear for you. And also I think it's kind of going step by step up. And then the office right now is I think the longest international staff working in the office. So I think for me it was a good opportunity to see different process. So the first, every person who starts in the office, they start from the competition. I think competition is very good chance to show what you can, or see also how the design works in the office. But also Ishigami-san always judge So he really see what person can do, what's his design sense, what is good to offer him for the next project, and so on, so on. So for me, it was a chance to show my best. And then, unluckily, my competition was very big, and we was working together with several architects, and including like RCR, the Pritzker winner, and Soil, and Rick Matter was our British partner for the managing this competition. The competition was for the design in the urban area here. So there are several architects designing the buildings. So we designed this one, it's a gallery, and like RCR designed the museum, and then the Soil designed university, and then there is a big residential area. So we designed this small gallery space, and the competition we succeed, we submit, we didn't win, but we succeeded the submission, and Ishigami was very happy. For me, probably it was not the best way to make it good, because after that, Ishigami pushed me in many other competitions, especially some of them was not under my control, but he put me in order to deliver to the final stage. So maybe in the first year, we complete around 7 competitions. So competition after competition was very hard period, I think, the most hard one for me. And all office don't sleep and so on. But yeah, I think. But good point is that I always understand that it's the competition is only chance to design something you will probably never design. For example, the bridge or like maybe like renovation or the museum. So of course we never know what's going to be our private projects, but like competition, it's a fast way to design and try to understand how things can be created. And then another project, so it's already probably on the 2nd year, it was the exhibition in GA Gallery. GA is a publisher, Japanese publisher. They have something like Project Russia in Russia. And then they have the gallery space, and they publish a magazine with current architectural projects every month. So they select several architects, and then they have an exhibition. So then Ishigami was one of he present his project of there is a Denmark project of the pavilion. It's a very big space on the water. And so this model made me and my team. We delivered this model to the exhibition, but also designed the exhibition space. I think why it was very important, because presentation models, it's kind of another level for the office, and Ishigami-san very care about the quality, and it should look like a building, but very small scale. So everything is important. Like it was important to make like building reflect in the water, because it's on the water, so it's acrylic and it's semi-opaque, so it's reflect the building and everything. So very many details. So I also learned how to make those final quality model for the office. And then we published the project also, my first experience to make a publication for the magazine about this project as well. So then the designing period, in this moment, this is the things which I had in the same time going on. And you see, like every staff is pretty busy, so many things you have to manage same time, and it's I think hard in the beginning, but then you kind of find a way to manage. Then in this moment, I still was working on the Polytechnic Museum, but then also my second main project is a kindergarten in China, which I was working very long time and delivered to the end of the design. So then I will explain you based on how the design process works in the office based on the kindergarten project. So this is the site. Usually any project we start from a site visit, because the visit to see the site is very important, to see the scale, to see the environment, and also for Junьи, very important to understand how to put new proposal inside the environment, how to merge it together. For him, very important. But in this case, the situation was different because it's a new development area and it's a very, very big part of the land. So nothing happened. Also, they cut all the trees, and so it's just the ground. So we didn't really know what to do in the beginning. But then any project you start, Ishigami never draw first. So it's good because then he asks you to propose, and then you are the staff, then you have a team of the interns, then everyone start to propose. Maybe every day we have a meeting and you propose around 100 to 100 options, then Ishigami-san refuse all, or something like this. Then you try, and then he choose some of the direction. So then here you can see we usually, if it's just a meeting with him, you present the plan with a more or less like very draft arranged version, and then the model, because he really see more on the model. So it also was a lesson for me that drawing doesn't present as much as the models, because also models have some craftsmanship mistakes, maybe. Sometimes these mistakes is good because then something like shape is better, or like it's not perfect. It's not made by machine, it's made by hand, so it's presented well. Then we present 17 options, here only a few, but we present 17 options for the client. He choose some, but then at that moment, together with Ishigami-san, we start to think that we want to try to design the building for the kids, which doesn't look like normal building, because I think any kindergarten we design is designed by adults, first of all. Then second of all, it has the same kind of architectural scale as any other building, so it doesn't really create it for the kids. So we wanted to try to challenge and make some space which specially made for kids and very unusual for adults. Then the way we start with a collage with a very playful and dreamy way. So we try to find, like, for example, spaces how the kids can play, or like, for example, like circle, or like the sliding, like all the possible spaces kids can use, or there is some from cartoon and everything. So this collage was more about covering all the site with any possible spaces which can happen. Then we cover the site with very abstract shapes which become a playground. So each shape you see is used as a playground. So for example, this is like octopus shape, and then this used as a very, very big slide so kids can drop down. Then there is like terraces and everything. So we developed several options for this roof. Use just the paper, and you see it's sometimes not clean and very like draft, and you see like piece of paper cut it out of very abstract shape. But then we was trying to find the shape which will be playful for the kids. At the end, yes, we find out final shape. So this is the final shape, and here you see the image presenting what the project looks about. So we wanted to make a roof very playful, and you don't even see the interior spaces, but they exist. And all roof used like maybe the water rain roof, so there is a pond appear, there is a net play, and like many different places, and all mixing in the kindergarten. And last year, the office has exhibition in Fondation Cartier in Paris, and we also joined this exhibition, and my team and me present the kindergarten project as well. So here we show that collages and first roofs and study models, and then the final model is in the central space. Then I think the last period in the office is the supervising period. It's also the period when I start to think about maybe leaving the office, but more like trying to find the next step. In this process, I started to have many new staff who I was have to educate to care different projects. So some project, like for example, Cafe Paris or Jewelry project, I was just supervising as a project manager, but then staff or like interns, they was delivering the presentation to the client or like going to the site and so on. And then also, of course, competitions. Competition always happening very randomly in the office, so you have to just, like you don't have choice to say no, yes, you just have to do it. Then we had a very big competition. It's the first one which written here. It's a competition in Paris. I think was very, it's the last project which I was doing also on as a manager, and it was very challenging, I think, because like it was very unique opportunity to work with the city of Paris, to present a presentation for the mayor of Paris, and then see how the urban area can be developed with the city together. So you see, like this area was supposed to be proposed by different architects. We was selected, we was four. Out of there was 4 teams. We was joining with a French team, and we proposed a design for this area. So this year, I think March, we made the final presentation, but we was not the winners. And then I think I passed the word to the Kei. He explained more from the different perspective. I think my perspective is more about this, starting the project management, managing different competitions, international work. And his is more about the practical experience in the Ishigami office.
In my 7 years of the Junьyi Ишигami office, so I joined the many projects. So today I choose the several unique projects in the JI's office. This one is this project is the house and restaurants. The client is the owner of the French restaurant, and he's the chef. And his family's house and restaurant is this one. And this one is a very unique construction method. So the first we dig the soil ground and fill with the concrete and dig it out the soil. And this is the interior perspective. So all the surface of the ground is reflect to the concrete. So it's very unique concrete building. And the client wants the client's request is the first. He wants very looks like old building, like the winery of the France. And we proposed this like ancient but new building. And this construction is very hard because we designed the soil. So I joined the construction site. And I also joining the digging. So I talk with the contractors how to dig and how to make the good surface and which soil we keep and which soil make it smooth. So it's very hard to control that construction site. But at the same time, it's a very good experience for me to join this project because we cannot imagine what's happening in the construction site. But we concentrate the design at the same time under the construction. So we note the many things in the construction site. So we first make the physical model, then 3D and 2D drawings and the construction site. So we check every difference between the 3D to the site, and we check and decide the height and everything we controlled in the construction site. And next project, this is the glass shop in the Shanghai. So this shop, this shop concept mainly this glass display was no hierarchy, so just like floating on the table. And actually, they have no columns here. So this is the wall supported by the cantilevers, and in this project we check the by the one-to-one. You see the in China we ask them to contractor to make the one-to-one, and we check the how structure works well and how the smooth surface make it. And this project is the Kanagawa University Plaza, and which locate next to the kite workshop, Junьи Ishigami's project. And this project is like 100 meters and 50 meters, and 15 millimeters steel roof without the columns. So this structure also is very hard because the no column, just steel 12 millimeters, and support by the wall surrounding. And in this project also we made a mock-up, and we checked the surface of the finishing, and also how the welding works well, and what kind of the detail of the opening edge, and also the lighting conditions, and the rain, how the water drop on. And Junya also visit the mock-up and discuss with the contractors how the shape make more smooth.
So 2019, challenging year, and because we, of course, the working with Ishigami office is very challenging, but same time I think we start to think that both of us has a very different experience in the office, and then it's very beneficial to try to start to think our own way, but also because Kei experience is very detailed and construction side, and mine is the opposite. And we start to think why we have to join the office together. Also because in Ishigami office, many cultures, and also Ishigami always asking us to design something for the different, also not only Ishigami, I think right now we have to design spaces for the different values, and all people request many different things. So I think cultural values also important to mix in the proposal. So we start to think that joining the Japanese and Russian roots will be very unique, but also because our education is different, our experience and our design value is same, because it's from the Ishigami office. But then I think there are a lot we can bring into the office from different perspectives. So we start in this year, we start from renovating our space, our atelier space, and we start from the research where we can actually place our office and how it should look like, because you know in Tokyo there is many different areas, and some of them is a high-rise, some of them very low and neighborhoods, and so we thought it's kind of the first impression, like if it's an office, you arrived, and what kind of impression will be from our office, which is more valuable for us as architects. And then we thought the best location will be live next to the very big garden. So our office located next to the very big around 4 centuries history botanical garden, facing it from the window. And also it's kind of a very good research space in case we have a project and we have to find the different species or different environments, because this garden has a very different faces. So there is like this place is a traditional garden, there is a sakura blooming and a very deep forest. And this is a view from the garden to our atelier space. It's located on the 2nd floor. And when we move, So in Japan, it's very common that the window is not transparent. The reason is because the density of the city is very big, so no one wants to face next building or no one wants to see the neighbors. So the privacy is very high issue. That's why also this house before had a not opaque glass, but then we make a presentation for the owner and Photoshop the space and make a transparent glass, show how beneficial it is to extend the interior space, even not physically but visually, to the outside, because then the space becomes bigger and now the feeling of this space is more like a terrace or veranda. So then, this is our working space, and this is a view from the house. And then this is we didn't renovate that much, and we mainly did the furniture and the changing the finishing. So also in Japan, it's very common to kind of donate the green space because street is made by the people, and there is many. Street is not just a public, only public space. You have your private garden, which doesn't have any fence, so it's become a part of the street. So street is really handmade. There are a lot of pots and plants and everything. So we also made this green space, green fence, which also protect us from the street. The view from the street. Then I explain our first project. It's the one we get awarded for, and it's called The Scenery with a Lotus, and it's a project for the Buddhist temple in the Mie prefecture. Mie is maybe 2 hours away from Tokyo. Our client is monk, and it was very challenging. It is very challenging to work with him. Especially for me as a Russian person. So the project, it's not simple because it has a background. So in Japan there is an issue right now. So no one used the temples, but architecturally and space-wise, it's very unique. So before the temple was very public space and used for the community a lot, but now it's facing the issue of not using at all, or people not coming, not using. So it's very close space and it's very far from the people from outside. So our client is also part of this movement, and his movement is how to make the temple open for the people. It's called Retera. And so here you see this is the existing temple. Each temple in Japan, Buddhist temple in Japan, has a gate. It's a symbol. And now the client, in order to promote the temple, makes different activities. Like there is a yoga in the temple, there's a kids workshop and something else. But no one come who doesn't know. So he really concerned about that, and he decided to extend his activity to the city, and he bought a building which is just located in front of the temple. And he wanted to use it for the different activities which is not connected to the temple, such as cafe or library or guest house or something else. So it should be very open for the city. And then also this building facing the very old historical road, and also it's on the way to approach the temple. So kind of a very important location. And our site was very small actually, and it's just in front of the building. And so client come to us saying, I want to design something that people will understand that this is related to the temple, but also something people will like the space. And so you see, like usually, as I said, the temple has a gate. It's a symbol for the traditional temple, but then also this new temple, we decided to design kind of new gate, but it's a pavilion. And it was a symbol for the new open temple. In this moment, we faced two different issues because same time we have to create the symbolic thing for the temple, which was very important, but not something not too religious. And then also this new space for anyone can use and anyone can see. Then our project called Lotus is a pure scenery. Why Lotus? Because Lotus is a very religious symbol for the Buddhism. Also, like it has a very beautiful shape. And also, like for me as a foreigner, the image of the Buddha and lotus under him. So lotus has a very, very much meaning. And kind of for Buddha, it's a space. And so we decided designed our architecture not as only architecture, but also as a scenery. So if you see from the temple, the pavilion you see looks like the scenery of the lotus. So for temple, it's become not architecture, it's become the new image or new symbol. And same time, it's when you're in this, it has a space and it's two roofs joined together. And you see it's also repeats the shape of the gate and also the temple. So it's become kind of the same language as a temple. Then also it's aluminium perforated one. So also in the ground there is a light, kind of the landscape of light, which also looks like the pond of the lotus. So if we see from the, here is a site map, and this pavilion has just the two columns similar to the lotus, and then there is a seating space here. So here you can see the seating space and the woman sitting looking up, and then also the shadows on the ground. So the roof is having many holes. It's a design pattern, designed structurally. I will explain a bit later, but then there is different spaces. For example, above the seating space, the holes are very small. It's only 2 millimeters, so the water not going in, but then the light coming. So it looks like stars if you look with the light. Then, for example, there is another area which is very low and used as a sitting space, and holes are bigger so the water can come in and rain. And the light as well. So here you see the man sitting on the bench, and then under him there is plants, we also receive the light and receive the water. And the highest space is 4 meters, and the strong light coming from the opening itself, only 1 point. And for us it was important to design this roof very light. In Japanese temple there is always the curtain and the entrance which has a very light feeling. So we also wanted, in order to make this perforation, we wanted building be not massive. And also the light which come in, it's more like a light in the forest. So when you are under the temple, under this roof, you are covered with light. Another space like where the water stores, same as on the lotus, we collect the water and then drop by drop it's coming down. And also if we see from the new building where for now there will be cafe, but different use. So first we also have this peaceful scenery protected from the road, but then also it's more like a landscape scenery from the tatami space. And structurally, first principle was about folding the piece of paper and shaping it so it's become very strong. So it's 4 millimeters aluminum and 8 centimeters column supporting it. It's a two roof joined together. So, and structurally where winds come, the like mountain structurally it works like a mountain. And then where the wind is not that strong, only cantilever helps to support this roof. So for the design of the halls, and in generally we're working with a structural engineer which work also with Junya. It's a Jun Sato, and he's crazy, and I mean he can do such things which I never imagine can happen structurally. So if you have some crazy ideas, be sure he will can manage to find the structural solution. So then you see the blue zones, it's where, after analysis, the blue zone where we could make any holes we want, and the red zone is where the structure is a bit weak, so we couldn't add any holes. So this pattern was afterwards designed based on the structure, and then like you see very dense area, very like not dense, and so on. So then structurally also, like the way we make it, it's also not so, kind of unique. There's a fast train in Japan called Shinkansen, and it has a very big mouth, the nose. And it's made by the machine which folded. So we also use the same method. But in our case, we first cut aluminium, then punch in the holes, then by machine, but also by handcraft, we shape each piece, and then we join welding and sand it. Then here you can see the overall image of the pavilion with all the lights and the details. Then, yes, SD review, we just complete last month, so it's an exhibition. So I will explain. The SD review is the award founded by Fumiko Maki 40 years ago, and it was mainly made for having the discussion for the architects in the moment when they still design the project. So because I think many architectural exhibitions presenting the complete works. So it's more about your result. But there is no exhibition which, same as a university, you present like midterm studio, then you can change something, but more like architects. So we never know how architects actually designing because I think every architect has very unique way to design, so it will be interesting to see. So that was idea of Fumiko Maki to make this exhibition and then also publication of each project. So every year, around 300 people apply. There is no any restrictions, not so many. Only your project have to be actual. You have to have a real client, and then it have to be not built yet, so on the way to deliver. Then 15 people selected as a finalist, and 15 people has the exhibition in the very center of Tokyo, and then also in Kyoto. This is the opening day when we opened the exhibition, and then Fumiko Maki presenting each finalist. So we are here. And it was very unique and I think special event also seeing him in architectural space. So that's the way we made the exhibition. Also a bit, we was trying to make it interactive and explain the project from different points of view. So that's our space. And we designed it also as a lotus scenery. So you see, like this table have many plates, which also tells the story, because for the visitors it was very important to explain what's the project about. So each plate was starting from about the client, the site, the concept, and then the model there, actual pavilion, and then the structure, one-to-one, and so on. So for us was challenging to design, to make the story inside the space. So here you see the concept model of the lotus pond and like Buddha, and the site plan with the temple and new pavilion, the wall, and the view from that gate, because that also was very important to show to the visitors, so they can actually look down and see how the pavilion looks through the gate. And then also the shadows and the sitting space, the structure model. And there was two models, one-to-one, presenting the quality of the light. The first one, as I showed before, like in the forest, and second one is very unique, just like one drop on your hand if you place it under the low part. So that was a good experience, I think, also because we are as a self-architects, we are very young, but then we could show our project in the same space as people who has a very big experience. So it was very, feels important maybe. And also I think for the young architects it's very good in order to show not only how you design, but see how other people design. Then Kei will explain, we have a second project as well. It's right now in the construction, and it's a housing project.
Minka project. This is the site plan. So this one, the site is the Saitama area, the 1 hour from Tokyo, and not like so much city area. So here the river and we see the rice field and farmer area and the forest of the shrine, and this is the site. And the site is actually quite big for the residents, the housing. This is the one block, so 6 housing is here. But this is our site. It looks like a 1 block scale, so it's very large. And now, when I visit the site, we wanted to make the housing, the land as a building. And the client requested us like something housing like old Japanese atmosphere. And the client is they work as a lifestyle, like farmers lifestyle event company. And they want to import that activity in this house. So we first research about the primitive farmers' life, like Japanese, how the Japanese people living in the house. And the left one, this one is the warmer area, basically the south area in Japan. So there's a high, the floor is elevated to release the humid. And this one, the right one, this one is the colder areas house. It's digging here and protect from the coldness. But this one is like a 3,000 years old building, so we cannot import this building. But this picture, this one is like a kind of the middle age of the Japanese modern Japanese traditional house. But this building, they have both elements, like this elevated floor and digging area here. So these 2 elements is joined by the big roof. So both interior activity and exterior activity is merged under the big roof. So this is the plan of that building. So here, this is the elevated floor. So it should be like interior activities. Here is the more like exterior activities. So interesting point here, they call as a niwa. Niwa is the modern word means garden. So it means the old persons regard the garden as an interior space, like include the house. So we want to export like that concept of the lifestyle of the farmers. So this is like the old house, and the elevation is by the roof. So the roof is not the roof. The roof is more like a facade of the building. So our proposal is this one. So they have a big roof and a closed wall. Actually, the client wants this space, this building, as a closed building, because in Japan, as Sasha explained, the privacy is very important. So they want not to allow to see the inside from the exterior. So the building itself from the outside is very close, but in the inside, from under the eaves, and interior is like this. So we see the very beautiful sky without any neighborhood. So it just cropped the sky by the roof. And here is the interior view, but we want to treat the interior and garden and semi-outdoor space as a no hierarchy. So we won't treat as the same. So this is the side. So main road is here, and street is here, neighbor is here, and our site is like a corner. And our plan is like this. So basically, we want the whole space as a room, include the exterior space. But actually the interior is like this, so divided by the glass. So the yellow part is indoor space. And this blue area is covered by the roof. So roof plan is like this. And the plan-wise, here, kind of the public space, so entrance and tatami room and living room and kitchen and the garden face to the living rooms and terrace and playground and office and meeting rooms here. And more like a private zone is here, like the kids' room, bathroom, toilet, and closet and bedroom here. And the elevation is four elevation is different. Depends on the environment. The one is the triangle roof face to the park, and one is the lower and the protected view from the outside, and one is the no windows here, and here is the window for the private room, but the crop the view from the outside. So here is the sections of the perspective here. So we see from here the indoor and garden and office is no hierarchy and treat as rooms. And the entrance space, big roofs, space covered by the eaves, and it looks like a space. And once you go in the living rooms, we see the very good sky and very big space here. So this is some ceremony of the construction. And this is the foundations constructions. Here is foundation. So this is going to be garden. And this is the exterior view. Actually, this building, the footprint is 6 times than usual building, but it looks not big because this is very like 1.7 meters, or this one is 5 meters. So we adjust the shape depends on the surrounding. So this is the courtyard. So as you see, this is the neighbor, but we crop the view. So we don't see the neighbor, and also the neighbor cannot see the private garden. So this is from the living rooms. Oh, this is also courtyard. This is the office. So this is the roof plan. This is the exterior. So as you see, this is a 2-story building, but it looks like the very small building, but actually it's very big building. So we want to make some good environment for the neighbors as well.
So yes, on that moment, I think of course, our story is not complete, but I mean, for now it's complete, and I think this year, next year, I think for the next 5 years maybe, we want to focus not only on making the project. Of course, the realization for architects is very important, and for Junьи, it probably takes sometimes a little bit too much, but then experience as a construction, of course, it's very unique, and also many things changing during construction as well. So it's kind of, you have to pass through this process to understand how it works. But then, same time, we want to focus on the philosophy, I think, because we also was discussing that issue with Ishigami one time. So because recently not many architects thinking what's the philosophy of the work they are doing, because it's not only about completing the projects, it's also about positioning you as architects and not copying or not trying to make something that already exists, but facing always the question like why we do it ourselves, and what do we want to give to the world as answer of the architect. So I think, of course, it won't be tomorrow to answer this question or even today, and it's very difficult. And I think for us, it's also a question how to merge the Japanese experience and then also Russian, how to connect both countries. And for me, for myself, I also want to understand why I work in Japan, and then what I can bring to Russia, I think will be also very important to find answer for me as well. Yes, so I pass the word to Alexander.
And I'll probably start with this question. For Alexandra, what do you think, what's from your March experience in March? What was the most suitable, what was the most interesting to use in Japan? And in many ways, what you were showing just now seemed to be very close to lots of things that we do here, like those, for example, pictures for this project. They seem like sketches our students do, all these white models and that sort of thing. Is that what you kind of found usable, adjustable in this new surrounding, or something different?
I think I think from the March, it's also, I think in the beginning when I just was starting to work in the Ishigami office, so Marsh really teach to think, and it's really teach to question things, how to make this, how to why you're doing this, or why this is good, why this is not good, or what do you really like, why you like it. So I think when I arrived to the office, and also I think in the March, I learned to most of the time say yes to the things. Sometimes it's not good, of course, but I think more important was to not be afraid to do something. So to have mistake, I think, mistakes are very important. And I think I was not afraid to say yes even to the things I don't know how to do. Like there was several times, like first time Ishigami asked to, let's say, make an exhibition, but come on, no idea, I have no idea how to do exhibition. But then I say yes, because then I can learn. I can learn how to do, I can question to the different people. There was a time when I called to Zhenya Shirinyan asking, I don't know how to do this in Rhino or something like this, so can you help me? So it was very helpful, and there were several times when I asked like Nikita something about the contract issues and everything. So it's always like you asking, or you email a message to the people in school as well. So but I think, and also of course the March brings a very good quality of the things we do. So it was very useful for the office. So I think it's kind of raise your standard of what you do, what is beautiful, what is not, which is very important in Japan, I think. So it was very good to know this or study this and everything. So.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll have one more question, but just in a second. Хотел сказать, что если вы хотите задать вопрос, не обязательно делать это на английском.
Да, можете на русском.
Да, Саша, мы все переведем. But my next question will be for you, Kei Sato. And that's kind of the same question that I asked Alexandra just now, but in an opposite kind of way. What do you think Alexandra is doing in the most not Japanese way, but it's very valuable and very good for Japanese surrounding, Japanese architectural practices? What's the most not Japanese thing Alexandra is doing in architecture?
You're asking?
Yes.
What's something I know or something I have some experience which is very unique for working in Japan?
But basically, she's the foreigner. So, like, once the things we think it's very normal things, she point out this is new or this is very unique. So we can understand, we can recognize ourselves, which is unique. So like this, our presentations, like she found out the lotus pond idea, because for the foreigners, lotus pond is very easily motif, but for us it's very common thing. So we couldn't recognize, but she import that idea to our culture. So I think like this interactive activities always happen in our office.
Okay, thank you. Ну что, есть вопросы. Мы рассчитывали, что может быть много вопросов про то, как, не знаю, живет архитектурная компания в Японии, чем отличается, не знаю, японская среда от российской. No, well, I can ask the same questions. What's the difference between the Russian and Japanese architectural cultures in the sense of business?
Sense of business. In sense of business.
First thing, the construction site is incredibly neat and clean.
Oh yes. Oh yes. And you know, so also I don't know, maybe I don't know much, but in Japan, for example, like this building, this construction is very like a Lego. Everything is pre-cutted. So for me, it was very not. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't want to say something wrong, but yeah. But it was very like. I don't know. They make. I think in Japan, in terms of making architecture, and also I think quality is very unique. So everyone makes everything very clean, but same time, every architecture is temporary because they have the many issues with the earthquake and all those things. So architecture doesn't consider as a long term. So you make your building, you don't know, next day maybe it's destroyed. But then that's why, so they also have like a temple where they rebuild this temple every 20 years. So it's also show the possibility to see architecture differently, not as a, I don't know, like very significant thing, but more like a lifestyle, part of the life. Yeah, so, and in terms of deep business, I think architect has more control. Architects has full control on the, more or less, I think, on the delivering the project. And I think it's more easy to explain people what's beautiful, but I think also they have a sense of the beauty. Kind of. I don't know. It's always. I think it's pretty well raised in the nation because they have so much promotion about architecture. Everyone knows who is architect. Like everyone can see the space if it's good or not. I don't know how they did this in the country, but it's very well educated and people respect architects. And. Well, I'm not sure, but I hope it's like this. At least from my point of view, it feels like this. Because all spaces are sometimes like we see the tile building somewhere around here and it doesn't look so good. But then you see the same building in Tokyo and it looks good. I don't know why. So it's maybe precise or something like this. But in terms of business, I don't know how to answer this question. I think
you said that at one point you were asking Nikita Tokarev for some advices on contract writing. Yes. So the answer, was it useful? Yeah, it was useful because it's also the first time when I was doing the contract and also contract, but it was for the foreigner project, not Japanese. So it's also kind of like, I just didn't know how to do. So I need to help or something. I mean, like you need some advices. And of course, there are always people you can find to give this advice. And
But Japanese project, I think in our office, for me, it's the first time to work with a Japanese project. And well, I feel it's not so difficult, maybe. Yeah, maybe you have something to say? Well.
I don't know, in Russian or in English. I have so many questions that I will start with the most stupid, probably. Are you the only Russian architect in Japan?
Not only one. There is also I'm the first self-architect in Japan. But there is also the person from the Marhi. He worked for the Kuma office, Kinga Kuma office.
Okay, so there are at least two. You are two.
We are two, yes.
Okay.
And he's very proud about it.
Okay. So you are the first Russian architect in private practice.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, kind of, I hope.
And now you are just two, you in the office, or you have employees?
We have the temporary employees. For example, when we was doing the exhibition, we invite a part-time job, like they are students, but they was helping us during their vacation period.
Okay, and continuing the matter of business, are architects well paid in Japan? Is it comparing with Russia, let's say, comparing with general life level price?
Well, I think because the price, the lifestyle is more, how to say, the life cost is more higher. So I think it's equal, same.
Equal, okay. And do you feel yourself Japan architect or Russian or international? What is your feeling concerning your position in this world? I mean, this building you showed, it's very Japanese. And is it your real self-presentation? Is it your sincere expression of you as an architect? So it looks that you are a Japanese architect, or not, or it's just because you are next to Kei.
I think because I might say Ishigami grew me as an architect, no? So practically I follow his philosophy. So I think in the deep it's a Japanese philosophy. But then that's what I was saying, that I really want to find the Russian roots in all I'm doing. So for now, of course, like Ishigami theory, like all the views and the way we experience the building and the spaces is very Japanese, I agree. And I cannot remove it, so, and I really respect that. So I think, well, for now, it's more Japanese, yes, that's probably.
And does it mean that, okay, it's influence of Junior, but do you study Japanese culture somehow, especially? Do you read Japan history and cultural, some references? So how it happens, or it just intuitively collected in your mind and?
Well,
so
I think.
Okay. You understand my
question? Yes, I study, and then also I think it's come from all the references which Ishigami present to me, like also traditionally and everything. But then I think it also comes from when I see how people live, what they prefer as a space, because for now our clients is Japanese, so I have to design it for the person who, I don't know, like have some special values or not benefits, but needs. I don't know how to say. So yeah, but it's very interesting for me to study. Actually, I think it's good to study the way they make architecture in order to find how to make it a bit different way.
And do you teach Kei some kinds of Russian traditions?
But actually, now she works in Japan as a foreigner, and now my position is opposite. Like I'm working in Japan, but now I'm coming here. So this is this is my position to figure out what's the new values from in the not Russian side by the Japanese perspective. So our purpose for the office is more like we don't fix the brain. We should be more flexible. So we both talk and discover the new things and like how to say like always discovering. So we also want to find some opportunity the project in Russia. So in this case, my perspective will be more valuable. So and now our Japanese project, her value is more valuable. So both could be like interactive and like growing up together.
But I don't know if I teach him something Russian, but same as he said. When I came to Japan, something for them very familiar, very normal. I see it very unique. So I think for him as well, when he come to Russia, and now we are as professionals, he see something normal for me, but then he point out that this is unique. So I think this also the way we want to try to find this cross between the cultures. Yeah, but I don't know if I probably don't teach like only language, Russian language, but I try, yeah. Yeah, of course, like presenting something, and he sometimes even say something very similar to Japan. So maybe there is a mix, like some connections between the cultures probably exist.
У нас есть еще вопросы.
Thank you for the interesting presentation. Still, I have a question about the intersection of Japanese philosophy and the concept of space. As far as I know, in Asian philosophy in general, the concept of void is very important. And can you expand on and also the concept of landscape? That you do architecture just by folding the landscape, just by folding. So you're doing space out of surface. And can you expand why, how this interacts? How does it work together? First, landscape, folding, void, space. If my question is clear. Or is it just intuition? I don't know.
I think Japanese architecture, well, of course, maybe beautifully saying it's about void and so on, but the view is more important than the experience probably. So, because in Japanese house you sit on tatami space and then you always face the garden and you're always on the low position. So the scale of the space is very small, and also connection with garden important because it's part of the interior space. So it's also like when we explain about the minka, the garden space, it's always part of the house. They don't separate outside and inside. It's always together. So, for example, this is actually was unique for me also because in Russia, we always design the building interior facade. We don't go beyond. Like, of course, we can propose the urban context, but we don't see it as well, there is exceptions, but we don't design the green space as a part of the interior space. That's why also the Polytechnic Museum was very unique for me, Junior's proposal. So for them, you always design them together. They are equal. So, and basically also in Japan, it's very strong, how to say, there is no separation. So that's why there is always just a glass wall or something like this to show that there is no limit. And interior is not interior, it's part of the exterior. Yeah, if you have something.
Describe about
Answer. You have something?
And a little bit more about folding and landscape. About kindergarten, have you, in your practice, have you ever encountered a question that, not a question, but a comment that, oh, it doesn't have walls, it's not architecture?
I think she told me the Russian start from the composition plan, but the Japanese one more like think how the space will be. So that holding the landscape project, that also like if we design by the block, like styrofoam block or something like volume study, it will not happen. So we don't think by the volumes. I think this is also from the European style, from the like the space division by the wall, but Japanese one more like column. So we understand the space by the columns. So I think like this material wise, like Russians from like a brick and like stacking the space, stacking and make the wall, but Japanese just stand one column. We feel the space. So it's, I think this difference comes from like this like material wise as well. Okay.
Я не уверена, что мы ответили на вопрос.
Так, ну что, может быть, появились еще вопросы? Сразу много.
Thank you very much. It was very interesting. So, my question is, why did you choose the name of your bureau means umbrella?
Oh yeah. How you know?
I
Speak Japanese?
Yeah, no. I learned a bit in the past Japanese language.
So it was by chance. But because it's first of all our surname, but then, so KASA in Japanese, it's umbrella, but also umbrella, it's also, I think, architectural term. So because it has a space which you carry with yourself. But then also KASA in Spanish has also architectural meaning as a house, no? So we didn't think from KASA, but it was a summary of the, accidentally I think, like happened very good way. Yeah, so KASA also, because surnames of course is too long, and then KASA is just easier to remember. But yeah, it's kind of soft meaning, maybe.
Thank you.
Спасибо большое за презентацию. Thank you for the presentation. Саша, у меня для тебя вопрос. Какие вообще есть способы, будучи студентом или уже закончив обучение, уехать на стажировку в Японию, уехать работать в Японию? Про твой опыт мы уже узнали, но, возможно, ты знаешь опыт других ребят из России.
It's about мне кажется, что не только в Японию, наверное, в смысле уехать куда-то достаточно просто, мне кажется, потому что просто если во-первых, нужно, наверное, понимать зачем и куда ехать. Ну а так в Японии, да, в Японии у нас проходили стажировку тоже несколько ребят из России. И, ну, потому что в Японии, вот если просто говорить про Японию, то в Японии рабочий режим, он, конечно, немного специфический, поэтому не все остаются. То есть особенно для европейцев, для людей из России, это как бы, ну, это нечеловеческий, наверное, режим, поэтому мало кто остается. Вот. У меня как-то это получилось, ну просто вот и МАРШ был такой весь очень активный, и как бы все время нужно было работать, и много чего случалось, поэтому я не хотела терять этот ритм, особенно, мне кажется, когда пока молодой, нужно как бы его сохранять. И поэтому Ишигами тоже ритм такой, ну, безумный, поэтому очень как-то хорошо все пошло, и, ну, вот 5 лет они пролетели очень незаметно, я на самом деле на год ехала, поэтому как-то бам, а уже 5 лет, ничего себе вообще. Вот. То есть как-то вот так получилось все неожиданно, но мне кажется, все сложилось очень хорошо. Вот. И, ну да, вот мальчик, допустим, работает сейчас у Кумы. У Кумы, ну вот если хотите в Японии, то лучше, конечно, Куми, у него там и зарплата получше. Вот. То есть как бы, ну и там трудоустройство и все такое. То есть если ехать там как бы с целью жить в Японии, и, ну, если не суть важна, там, если вы любите архитектуру Кумы, то, конечно, то лучше туда. Вот. Вот, но вообще, мне кажется, если ехать работать где-то в другой стране, то лучше, наверное, ехать в молодой офис. Потому что, с одной стороны, это хорошо поехать в офис, у которого есть стаж, потому что ну, там ты научишься, как бы сказать, быть архитектором. Ну, ты научишься. Ну, даже здесь, если работать, то, наверное, научишься. Ну, в смысле, да. А, допустим, с Ишигами, в тот момент, когда я приехала, он, ну, как бы еще не очень известный, и, то есть, очень-очень много работы, и он все время в офисе, и он все время что-то спрашивает. То есть, как-то, мне кажется, ехать и работать с молодыми архитекторами очень полезно, потому что они пытаются развить свой офис, и то есть ты как бы часть этого процесса тоже. Вот, то есть, мне кажется, этот период, который у нас сложился, он как бы, ну, да, был хорош. Вот.
Саш, ну а вот технически это что? Просто нужно собрать портфолио, послать или что? Или есть какие-то хитрости? Надо ли написать длинное мотивационное письмо или, не знаю, приехать, оббивать пороги лично?
Технически... Я просто занималась как раз стажерами, и, тоже нанимала на работу к Ишигами, поэтому технически, наверное, мне кажется, все зависит, как везде, наверное, от желания, но портфолио имеет значение, наверное, CV больше имеет значение, чем портфолио, особенно когда вот нанимают на работу. Вот. Но с другой стороны, мне кажется, очень сложно отразить все, что ты умеешь в портфолио или в CV. То есть лучше, наверное, если есть возможность приехать на стажировку и как бы понять процесс, поучаствовать, тебе нравится это или не нравится, то есть тогда все как-то, наверное, пойдет. Но вот в моем случае, да, я отправила портфолио, отправляла его не только к Джуньи, отправляла его и в Европу, но там проблемы с визой и так далее, и так далее. В общем, с Японией как-то было проще. И Джунья, да, ответила, что окей, давай начинай стажировку в Москве, ну почему бы и нет. Вот. И также, да, присылает нам заявки очень много, приходят Джуньи заявок тоже. Присылает портфолио, CV, потом просматривается, потом интервью, то есть тоже я прошла интервью, и тогда приглашают сначала на 3 месяца, потом, если у тебя есть желание, если тебе попросят остаться, то остаешься. Но остаешься, либо там говоришь, окей, там, через годик я вернусь, кто-то не возвращается. В общем, кто-то возвращается, я вернулась. Вот.
Спасибо. Есть ли еще желание задать вопрос у кого-нибудь?
Спасибо. Очень было интересно.
Спасибо.
Я обратил внимание на церемонию, которая предшествовала строительству дома. Вы так пробежались быстренько этот мне кажется, очень как бы говорящий сам по себе. И в этой связи как вопрос, собственно, как традиции отражаются на архитектуре, потому что я обратил внимание на довольно бережное отношение, как, собственно, в ваших работах, так и в целом, но это общеизвестно. Вот хотелось бы от вас услышать, как традиции значит, так сказать, отражаются на архитектуре, ну, современной, не текущей.
Именно традиции строительства?
Традиции скорее вот и церемонии.
И церемонии.
Да, я бы чуть расширил вопрос. В том числе и традиции деревянного зодчества, да, это тоже часть традиции. Спасибо.
So he asked about the construction method.
Ну, если вы расскажете просто про саму церемонию, на самом деле, это же интересно. Еще, ну, или как начало.
No, the construction will start to the ceremony of the да, мне кажется, Кей, конечно, расскажет больше, чем я, наверное, но то есть, как сказать, ну да, церемония, то есть сайт, участок, когда начинается строительство. Вот, да, вот церемония, она связана с храмовой деятельностью. Нормально, если я прошу его чуть-чуть объяснить об этом побольше, наверное? Can you explain about the ceremony and the way why it's like this? Or like what's the unique, what they're doing, and how it's happened, why they are bowing and so on.
So basically, this is the kind of the monk. So our site ceremony based on the Shinto, so not Buddhism. So, and this is family, and I think our religion based on the Shinto is kind of the animism. So we pray for the land god of the land, and to be the safety construction, and also to be the good building for the family. So they bring something like sake or food or many like meaning elements, and they play and the architect and construction person come here and also like something like they do the action with like some tool of the construction and demonstrate. And also the monk give us some kind of the sticker, like paper, like the protection. And we put these protection papers on the foundations, and we pray the safeness. Is that okay?
And, sorry, are you included in the ceremony or not?
He's taking photo.
Huh?
He's taking the photo.
Yes, but traditionally architects are not part of the ceremony.
No,
only house owners. Huh?
Architects are part of the ceremony as well. I was not attending, but Kei is the one who is taking the photo. But yeah, I think there are many symbolic ways, I think, in Japan, and it's also, I think, very unique.
Yeah.
And so they bring the trees, which is bamboo.
Yeah,
so it's kind of representing the temple space.
But this one, it's like kind of this temporary temple shrine. So we make this, and like hard questions, we fill the space already by this small element. So we welcome the God here.
Ну что ж, друзья, да, давайте